Welcome to ScareTimeStory, where every tale hides a nightmare waiting to be told. If you love horror that feels too real to be fiction, make sure to like, subscribe, and stay until the end, because tonight's story might make you check under your bed before you sleep. Eli Turner was 9 years old when he first told his mother that someone was living under his bed. It was a Tuesday night. The rain hit the window like quiet knocks, and the hallway light spilled a faint glow into his room. His mother, Rachel Turner, leaned against the doorframe, half tired, half amused. "There's nobody under there, sweetheart," she said softly, kneeling beside him. "It's just your imagination." But Eli's face stayed pale. "He talks to me, Mom," he whispered. "He says my name when you leave. He says he's hungry." Rachel laughed nervously, lifted the blanket, and peeked under the bed. Dust, socks, nothing else. She kissed his forehead, turned off the light, and went to bed. That night, she woke up to a faint sound. Scratch, scratch, scratch. She sat up, holding her breath. It was coming from under her bed. For a moment, she froze, then forced herself to look. Nothing. Just the cold wooden floor. She laughed it off, probably the house settling, and went back to sleep. But in the morning, she noticed muddy footprints on the floor leading from her room to Eli's. Days passed. The noises continued. Sometimes, Rachel would hear whispering like someone trying to imitate Eli's voice. Other times, she'd find his toys rearranged, all facing the bed. One evening, she decided to prove to herself it was nothing. She set up her phone under Eli's bed before tucking him in. The next morning, she checked the video. At 2:37 a.m., the blanket moved. A hand long, pale, with fingers too thin to be human reached out from the shadows. It touched the edge of the bed, paused, then slowly retreated back under. Rachel dropped the phone. Her hands were shaking. That night, she slept in Eli's room, keeping the light on. Eli didn't sleep. He just stared at her and whispered, "He doesn't like the light." The next morning, Rachel decided to stay home from work. She tore apart Eli's room, searching under the bed, inside the closet, even beneath the floorboards. Nothing. But as she turned to leave, she noticed something on the wall, small scratches forming words. "Stop looking." That night, Rachel woke to Eli's scream. She rushed into his room. The bed was shaking, the blanket was gone, and from beneath, she heard that same voice, low, mocking, almost human. "You didn't believe him." Rachel dropped to her knees, screaming his name. She grabbed the edge of the bed and looked underneath. There was no Eli, just darkness that seemed to breathe. And then something smiled back at her. The next morning, the police found Rachel asleep on the floor, her eyes open but blank. Eli was gone. The only trace of him were tiny handprints on the underside of the bed frame pressed from the inside. Neighbors say Rachel doesn't talk much now, but sometimes, late at night, she leaves her lights on, and if you listen closely from the street, you can hear her whispering, "He's still under there." If this story made you think twice before turning off the lights tonight, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to ScareTimeStory, where every nightmare begins with a whisper. Sweet dreams, if you can sleep.